summer, people pack their trunks, bikinis, and in my case, mankinis, to head to some of the biggest party destinations in the world. And when they're there, the soundtrack is always the same. I'm talking about the summer banger. You know the ones: Calvin Harris and Dua Lipa, Clean Bandit and Demi Lovato, Example, and me, Matt Edmondson. Wait for it, here comes the drop. Perfect. I have always wondered what it takes to make a summer banger, and this year I got to find out from some of the biggest selling dance artists in the world. Jax Jones, Wroldsen, Disciples, Becky Hill, Sigma, CamelPhat and Au, RAYE, and there he is, Calvin Harris. By collaborating with Radio 1 listeners and the Prince of Summer Bangers, Example, I actually got to make one myself. It's too fast for me. My mission was simple. We're going to make this the biggest song ever played on Radio 1.
Ever played.
Then putting it to the ultimate test by playing it in front of a huge crowd. This is how I went about making a summer banger. It's called One More Day of Summer.
It's summer banger time.
All right, we are looking to make our own summer banger. Example is the Prince of the Summer Banger. We are going to get in the studio this week, right? You've got a studio, right?
Oh, what do you think? What do you think I make my music? Come on, guys, what do you think I am?
Clearly, the stone cold bants was already flowing, but what about the music? In my world, the only way to truly find out what makes a summer banger is statistics.
The official chart
with Scott Mills.
And these are the UK's top 50 best-selling dance records since downloads began in 2005.
Bonkers.
At number 50, it's Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal and Armand Van Helden. At 49, Changing, that's Paloma Faith and Sigma. At 48, Blame Calvin Harris featuring John Newman. I've read that wrong. At number 47, Galantis has got No Money. It's quite a good one, that.
I've made a playlist of the UK's top 50 biggest selling dance records
Since downloads began in 2005.
Here are the highlights. 3 songs whose music videos show DJs playing in a club. 10 from artists who use a fake head. 16 featuring people doing some form of exercise. Now the big ones. Justin Bieber, Diplo and Rihanna each appear 3 times, as do Jonas Blue, The Chainsmokers and the late Avicii, who also holds the title for the UK's biggest selling dance record since downloads began with Wake Me Up. But the king of the summer bangers with 6 records in the top 50 is, you guessed it, Calvin Harris.
It's the longest belled in pop music. Yeah, there we go. Bam, 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 bam. Come on, yes, let's go.
Example's big theory on summer bangers is that you only really need 2 key things: a big vocal hook and an earworm that people can chant along to. A little bit like this.
And the love kick starts again. Starts again. And the love kick starts again.
That is annoying because that is quite expensive. So before we went to the studio, we decided to ask Radio 1 listeners if they had some duff-duffs they could share with us. Iona, hello.
Hello.
How old are you?
12.
And how long have you been in the music industry for?
Well, I haven't.
This is your debut, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully we can turn it into a summer banger at the end of this week.
All right. Reverb is on. Take it away.
Okay. Do 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 do.
So, armed with Iona's Duffy earworm, Example and I headed off to the studio. But the question is, how do you make a song sound like summer? To find out, let's talk to the professionals.
Well, when I write something that I know is going to come out in the summer, I think about what people are going to want to feel.
People love to drink, they love to dance, they love to kiss. They love to be romantic.
I'm a big believer in combining all the senses in a track.
People also love to kind of forget about the stresses of everyday life, which is what makes a dance record where it's like, put your hands in the air, let's go party, let's drink, let's have a good time.
Also, I think it depends when you're listening to the music. Luckily, we've had the biggest heat wave ever. So the tunes sound so much better when you're on the beach or in the sun.
Summertime could be a sick bass line. Summertime could be a steel pan, yes, if the tune warrants it.
The song that really, really uses steel pans well is the Duke Dumont and Jax Jones, I Got You. Thinking about what instruments you're using and where in the world they come from, generally instruments that come from hot places have that summery feel to them.
Producers use certain things, steel drums, classic, and especially with the tropical house kind of movement, that was all about steel drums and pineapples and stuff like that.
I think all pop music or any summer banger is taken from something familiar. People need familiarity.
Ask me what I did with my life. I spent it with you.
The way that sample is kind of pulled around and he's changed the order of the lyrics and it sounds like something new and fresh, but at the same time you've kind of heard it before.
It kind of refers back to a different era. I don't know, it meant something different, and then putting in a new song and kind of giving it a new meaning, and also a tribute, really.
Every hit you have recycled something familiar. That's part of having a hit, is borrowing something old and updating it.
Chords are like the most important thing to me. There's a certain number of chords which you can use which have an uplifting kind of feel.
When the chords are right, like kind of the instrumentation fits around it, but for us, we love the sound of strings. And I think when strings are kind of put with an uplifting piano hook or something like that, it just gives it this kind of lush feeling.
There's one chord sequence which is used a hell of a lot. I've used it in one song, only one. It just has a really nice feeling to it. It's 4-1-6-5. First chord sounds like not quite home. The second chord takes you home. Third chord takes you like to a slightly darker place. And then the last chord sets you up to go back to the first chord.
I think One Kiss by Calvin Harris and Dua Lipa is an amazing summery song. It just has that like warm, summer feeling.
I like all that old house music from the 90s, do you know what I mean? I grew up listening to Pete Tong and enjoying that kind of music, so I always try and replicate the feeling of that.
Calvin, he's so good at simplicity. And I think more than anything, that's what I've learned from him. Keep it simple.
I actually have a thing that I do now where I make sure that you can't ruin my records if you really like them. I just modify the sounds enough within 3.5 minutes so that you never get bored.
Dance music, it's simple. It's like 3 ingredients. It's like a meringue. Unless you whip the eggs perfectly and have the right amount of sugar and you cook them just right, they're gonna be awful. And then once you've had a bunch of meringue, you're gonna be a little sick of it. You're gonna be like, oh, I don't want meringue ever again. Then you're gonna want meringue again.
One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look like all you need.
If you listen to any big, I call them stadium records, they're just 3 elements at one time. So in You Don't Know Me, it's just the vocal, drums, and the bass. In loads of genres of music that rely on groove, it's basically subtle things occur. So it sounds different, whether it's a new vocal harmony or something in the drums changes every 8 bars.
I think it's scientific. I think there's something about the tempo and the grooves that connect with your soul.
So is there actual science behind why dance music makes us move? Turns out, yeah.
When you look at people's brains while they're listening to rhythmic patterns, the sound activates their motor system in a really unique way.
In You Don't Know Me, you have the tom, so it goes to... So that's like a classic disco thing.
We can look at how sounds engage the body using motion capture.
The open hi-hat in house is the international sound for You Must Dance Now.
There's hi-hats and syncopated activity engaging the arms.
Every dance record has 4/4 kick drum, it just lets you know.
Certain kinds of patterns and instruments engage the torsos, movement that's down low in your body. This music can capitalize on that by layering all these patterns on top of one another.
That's what we need you to do, is that kind of shuffle, you know,
Even if you're not on the dance floor, the music's engaging your full body.
Your brain adds the rest. It's quite interesting.
Now we've heard from the professionals, it's time to see how it's done. So, well, this is exciting. We're in your studio example. So our mission is to write a song. All we have is a sample from Iona. She called into our radio show. She hummed a thing down the phone.
Hummed a thing, a doo-doo.
We loved it, and we're going to try and turn it from a doo-doo into an absolute stone-cold banger.
Summer monster.
You want a cup of tea? So we've got 10 channels at the moment.
we're working in like a 4-bar loop, and then we just copy and paste that over.
And then just start taking elements away or adding more, yeah.
Muting, deleting, chopping up.
I think the song should start with her singing.
So is it going to get played out on radio going from her into this?
Yeah.
Amazing. Are you going to do a build now, Andy?
May as well just get on in quickly, eh?
Go on.
A riser?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fit EDM, innit?
Yeah.
That sounds
right,
wicked.
let's go EDM.
This is sounding really good.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Whoa!
Stop it there, Andy.
See, I think that's great. I think you want to make it more awful. You want to go
octave.
like at a, up an octave.
Yeah, up an octave. That's what
you
I
want to
think
go
it was.
Swedish House Mafia,
yeah.
don't you? But do you not want to like be a bit more classy
No,
and like build up?
I absolutely don't.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. It needs to go up. It needs to jump up there. Yeah, that's not quite the right sound. It needs to sound bigger at that drop. I'm not, that squeaky sound I'm hearing, I'm not into that sound.
You like that?
I don't like that. Yes. See, this is what I'm talking about, more of this. Not that. Can we have a listen?
Let's own this right from the top with Iona's vocal.
Oh, lovely.
This is your hands in the air.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love you, Mandy.
This is where we're getting our phones out ready to take a selfie.
Hi, FIFA! Make some
noise! Yeah, I love it.
Are you happy?
I love it.
Okay, so we'll fiddle around now with a mix.
Yeah.
You're happy with this?
I'm really happy. We can play that out. That's great.
I thought you'd never be happy.
So we had the track. Now all we needed was a big vocal hook. So we asked Radio 1 listeners to get in touch with their stories of holiday and summer romances, which is how we met Ben.
We ended up having to part ways. We wanted to keep it going. I was devastated.
Do you know what? I feel like that after every single holiday I ever go on. I'm like, oh, come on, just give me one more day of my summer holiday. Is that how you felt, Ben?
Yeah.
No, but, wait, that's it?
What do you mean?
What you just said, that's the song title, One More Day of Summer. That's going to be our song.
Right, because I feel like that at the end of every holiday. Like, oh, give me one more day.
Our song, our summer banger.
One more day of summer.
That's it, I don't care. I've done this before, I've had hits. It's called One More Day of Summer.
One more day of summer. All right,
that's
you're the
what we're
boss.
writing. We're writing that this week.
So we had some ideas for lyrics. We had our big hook. All we needed now was to lay down the vocals. The question is, what makes the perfect summer vocal? To find out, it's back to the professionals.
For me, a perfect vocal needs to be emotional. But the most important thing is that it's repetitive.
A lot of people don't understand why our choruses are so simple, but the simplicity is key. If someone can latch onto a chorus, half the battle's won.
And it needs to have a pattern, to the point where you go, can she really repeat that again? How deep is your love? Yes, she can.
And you're like, why have I got this stuck in my head? And by the time you know it, you bought it on iTunes.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love is a sexy lyric. And you can relate it to whatever. You can relate it to your religion, to your mom, to whatever you want, whatever you love. And then I feel like it becomes more euphoric. What the lyric means to me is one thing. That's kind of not that important. It's important what it means to the listener, and that the listener can relate to it. How deep is your love? The silence in a record is almost equally important to the melody. That's where you get time to breathe.
The key to the ultimate summer banger is to have an element of melancholy in it, but delivering that in the most uplifting way.
I think an ad-lib should always have a meaning.
And also there's no words. Ultimately, that can translate to any language.
By the time you've heard the song once, you know it. So when it comes on in a party, you're like, oh yeah, I know that.
Even Clean Bandit with their tune Solo. The whoop, whoop, whoop.
There should be a sense of percussion in the words, so that they slam right. The opening line has to be words that are hooky, and you can bounce off of them.
If making the record is fun, people listening to it will have fun listening to it.
If you're not excited whilst doing it, it's not right.
I try not to take it too seriously until I have to mix it, and then it gets so serious that it's not fun anymore.
The lyric, the word, Panic Room's such a fantastic word that sticks in your mind. It's not like anything else.
When I first came upon the word panic room, there was something so weird and eerie, but like kind of like cool to it.
We're not interested in that much. We're like interested in being happy, having fun. We have a big connection to grief and heartbreak. There are these human subjects that we like to hear about, and they're quite universal.
I think a great record,
Good
especially for the summer, always has a magical moment in it. It's got to mean something.
When I'm creating melodies, I like to have an incline trajectory. With Gecko, it's quite classic, really. You start very low in the verses, you get a little bit higher in the pre, and then for the chorus, it's the highest point that you all reach throughout the song.
Take a moment for yourself. Get close with the lights down low.
I try and have that euphoric kind of hands in the air moment before the drop even happens. I think if you can do that, then you're kind of onto a winner.
There are other songs, you know, that you would start higher in the verses, you go lower for the pre, and then you've got the release of the chorus.
You're kind of anticipating the next section so much that, you know, you just want to hear the drop.
That big diva-ish kind of style of vocal is perfect for a summer anthem.
The vocalist is really important to me. A lot of the time it's like just as important as the song.
The vocal performance on Changing by Paloma Faith was definitely pretty standout. The biggest part of that track is the chant at the back end of the hook. Like, the crowds love it.
I love having something else that follows a chorus. I feel like a lot of people think it's just lazy or a filler, but I think those are really important for people to actually latch on.
If someone who's had a little bit too much to drink can get away from a club and be like, you know, that song that kind of went, that's when you got a hit.
So that's what makes the perfect summer vocal, but we still had to write the song. It was time to go back to Example's studio.
We're here today. We're gonna write the ultimate summer banger.
All right, so we've got this. Where do we start from here? At the weekend, we spoke with Ben. Then you were like, that's the moment.
That's that One More Day of Summer.
One More Day of Summer. And you were humming something.
Yeah,
Can you remember how it went?
So, I'm hearing something like... One more day of summer.
Now that is catchy, but we have to weave in loads of other stuff.
So this is just a verse.
So hang on, that's all you're doing. You're just in your head. You're not thinking about the words here. You're just going na 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 na.
Yeah. And she said, "There's a holiday."
If you hum that for me in a second, I'm gonna go off and sit in the corner and try and write something.
Okay.
I will not be offended
You
if you
write
come
some
back
rubbish
and say
and then I'll
it's
make it
that.
better.
Okay, great. Well, let's do that.
Do you want the music on?
Yeah. And then what's this bit? I don't know how
Well, this is the chorus. Just give me one more day. What did you say there?
Don't know how we found each other.
Sick. I don't know how we found each other. Just give me one more day of summer.
Yeah, nice one. That was good.
What's that chant idea? Whoa. Can we do some of that on the drop? Whoa. Whoa. Cool? Matt.
Yeah.
You're up, mate. Where'd you think? About right for you?
I actually think I've got some good stuff here. This is a whirlwind. It's like a tornado, but I feel it down. And it's like a Mate and I and the trap Kim, gonna miss her like the sand and the sun got
99 problems and this beach ain't one.
It's good, right? It's good. Little rap callback. I gotta leave this air B and B. I wanna be up B because this girl's for me.
That's pretty decent, you know.
I've got mad flow. People have said that before. So everything's in place.
Yeah.
I can't wait for people to hear this on the radio. So, One More Day of Summer was finally ready for people to hear, and it was time to find out whether or not it would be the biggest song ever played on BBC Radio 1.
I don't know how we found each other. Just give me one more day of summer. Now I got one more night to love her. Just give me one more day of summer.
Sing along, Iona, sing along.
Oh, that is amazing.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, that is so cool.
Is this how it sounded in your head when you came up with it?
No.
So the song got a pretty amazing reaction when we played it on Radio 1, but I knew if we were going to make this the sound of the summer, we needed to do more. So I quite literally scooted off to meet with Depeche Palmer, who is the managing director of dance label Ministry of Sound Recordings, to get some help on what I can do next and to find out what he thinks of the track.
One more day of summer.
Your thoughts, Depeche?
Wow. Congratulations.
Thanks very
you
much.
You have a summer banger on your hands.
Do you actually think that? Or were you just being polite?
I actually thought there were some really good elements to that. I thought the bass line was good, the beat was really good, I thought the hook was really good, actually.
Well, we've got that. Iona's thank for that. I can't take any credit for that at all. Now, obviously, this is the first song that I've been involved with as a featured artist. I want lots of people to hear it. I want it to go everywhere, but I don't really know what I need to do. Where do I start? Do I need to get a manager?
I think it's part of the process. I think the first thing you want to do is get the song out there. I think you want to be shouting about the song to your friends, to your family, on your socials, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. But if you're shouting about a song that no one can hear, then it's kind of pointless.
So when you say get it out there, do you mean like put it out online somewhere for free? Not worry about trying to monetize it, not worry about trying to get it signed, just putting it out there and hoping people hear it.
The thing is, nowadays, you don't have to put songs out for free. There are digital distributors that you can go to and they put it up everywhere. So Beatport, iTunes, Apple, Deezer, Tidal, Spotify, etc. It'll probably cost you less than a drink does in Ibiza. So, you know, you can go to somewhere like TuneCore, or there's a new service called Level that's just launched. Because, you know, you've got to think about your audience. Some people go to SoundCloud, some people go to Spotify, some people like Apple. So if you can service all of those things and shout about it all at once, then that's the perfect starting point.
If I could get it in front of lots of people, would that benefit me?
It would absolutely benefit you. The more people that listen to your track, the better.
Yeah, because I do go out and DJ sometimes, mostly at like freshers events.
Perfect.
And I'll be honest, I've had events where 3 or 4 people have turned up in the audience.
There's a slight problem that everyone's your audience, whether it's 3 or 4 people or 3,000 to 4,000 people.
Yeah, gather around, guys.
Exactly.
I'll send you the track in a
Word of
WhatsApp
mouth.
group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go and tell them to tell their friends.
So maybe if I find someone who's successful at DJing.
Yes.
And say, look, do me a favour, give this record a spin when you're out doing a set somewhere, and then perhaps people will hear it and think, I need to seek that song out.
I think that sounds like the perfect idea.
I'm going to leave this meeting. Hey, Scott.
Hi, Matt, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. You know that gig you've got?
Right.
I'm going to need a favour. I took Depeche's advice and several Ministry of Sound branded pens and made One More Day of Summer available on the internet for people and DJs to download. And I've got to tell you, the reaction was amazing. It was played in bars. It was played at football stadiums.
Just give me one more day of summer.
It was played at phone parties. It was murdered by a saxophone.
Just give me one more day of summer.
Things were going well, but it was time for the ultimate test.
This is Scott Mills from Radio 1. Scott, let me hear you!
So Example and I went to join the preferred DJ of the upper middle classes, Scott Mills, at notorious dance hotspot Ascot Races, to see if we could get this lot singing Iona's doo-doos despite the quite heavy rain. I'm actually really nervous. It's on. I tell you what, this gig really could do with one more day of summer. Or more umbrellas. This is kind of the perfect audience for this because it is a rainy day in an otherwise brilliant summer.
I think it's perfect audience because they've had a lot to drink. She took me by the hand. Oh, why do I still feel so far away? How can we make it last? It all happened so fast.
Will they get that earworm stuck in their head, the One More Day of Summer thing? I don't know.
Took me by surprise. Got so lost in her eyes. I'd do anything to stay another day. I don't know how we found each other.
All I want is jumping. I want people jumping. You know it!
Now I got one more night to love her. Just give me one day of summer. There you go.
Yes! We've got bouncing crowds. I know you feel this all the time, but for me that is so exciting. I cannot believe it. 10 100,000 people going nuts to our song.
This girl is perfection, turned up the day running cause we got a connection. It's getting hot, she's taking off my cardi. Someone call me Ken cause I'm turning on the Barbie. Cause I don't want this love to stop or be thrown away like an old flip flop.
I remember it.
I'm gonna miss her like the sand and the sun. I got 99 colours and this beach is one. Cause I don't know when I'm gonna be here next. And I don't want my souvenir to be an X.
Why are you not there performing it?
Or just a quick thing.
Well, I did think I should go out and do a rap. No, you shouldn't. I shouldn't do that. I can't remember all of it.
Just like a Lilo. I gotta leave this Airbnb. I wanna be RB because this girl's for me.
I don't know.
Hands are in the air.
Found each other. Just give me one
more day. Yes!
Now I got one more night to love her. Just give me one more day.
Listen to that! It was pretty clear that they were loving it. To the girl giving it more welly than Alan Titchmarsh at a welly wanging competition, to the man who used this song as an opportunity to show us all just how good at flossing he is, and to this guy who's clearly been dragged here by someone else and is wondering what time the last bus is. Thank you all.
That was incredible!
And all it took was a few simple ingredients.
Taking something familiar, reshaping it, having a catchy and memorable lyric.
You want it to be so annoyingly catchy that by the end of the summer everyone's like, turn it off.
As many earworms as possible and keeping it as simple as possible.
Wherever it is, something that's infectious that you just can't get out of your head.
Hook, annoying lyric, and repetition.
Firstly, mention the sun. Secondly, probably mention some form of beach or palm tree.
Great singer.
Just don't overthink it.
A great song. Just for the singer to sing the song.
The right drums.
A beat that makes you want to dance.
They can make you dance. Half of the battle's won, baby.
A top line that intensifies that beat, because you can hear what the beat is talking about.
Melody.
Melody.
Vocals. A toe tap and beat.
And a good hook.
Very uplifting chords, big pianos, you have big vocal hooks, and we have very uplifting drops, and I think that's pretty much the key to a big summer banger.
And then great branding.
You know what I do is I've got an audio track as Seagulls, and I put it at -3 dB all the way through the track. You can't hear them, you can feel them.
And that is how you make a summer banger. So there you go. Seagulls. It's the answer. See you in the club.